Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 011111911.
All right, good morning and congratulations again. If you missed it yesterday, it's in the podcast thanks to our friends at Team Swayze. Natalie Rascato, Paso Robles, wrapped it up and took home the 12 days of Christmas. The answer to question number 12, it was a hurricane. The week leading up to my trip to Belize, and the final question was, why didn't I almost go on that fishing trip to Belize? Well, because Hurricane Sarah was forming down in the Caribbean, and then it ended up not being a hurricane, but it was like some kind of big tropical storm, and dumped over 30 inches in 24 hours of rain into Honduras and then Belize and Central America. So, anyways, but after a couple of days, it was gone. Worked out to be a pretty good trip. What happens
down there? Like everybody says, like, oh, hurricane's terrible. You know what?
They're used to it. They're used to it. That's what we got down there. Yeah, we're driving around flooded streets. We're like, it's not a big deal. This happens a couple times a year. You know, the wind is what would have sucked, and the wind.
We couldn't handle it here because our drainage is terrible for whatever reason. Like it rains like this street out here, the Sacramento River Drive.
Yes, that's what it looks like in Belize when they get 30 inches. Here it's like 3 inches of rain. Yeah,
no, like a quarter of an inch. You can get a quarter of an inch of rain, and it just pools up on the street. It's like, dude, if we ever got I know we get these atmospheric rivers, and that cripples that Sacramento River /drive. It's bad. But yeah, it's amazing. We went to Charleston after their hurricane. They got record rainfall, and you can still see standing water sitting everywhere. But it's like everybody moves around about their day like everything else. You know why? Because it gets super nice. It's nice more often than it is hurricane time. It's just a hurricane is a lot at once. Kind of like California and the atmospheric rivers, really, to be honest with you. It's just we get a little bit less. This is why, well, hold on a second. Do you want to play a game?
Sure. I love playing games.
Okay. What do you think this sound is?
Okay.
All the way down.
Yeah!
I think that is a woman screaming and then a guy saying, yeah.
Okay. Wait, why is she screaming? Is she giving birth? Is she
play it again?
Lifting?
Let's play it again then.
All the way down.
Yeah.
Here are your choices. Is she squatting? Is she squatting like heavy weights or something?
Okay, that was one of your choices. Actually, lifts 200 pounds over her head at the gym. That's what it sounds like, right?
Yes.
Or was she stuck in a high chair at a restaurant?
A high chair. What does that mean? Like what a little kid sits in?
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking it's that because that just seems like it's something it shouldn't be. It sounds like she's at the gym squatting because he's like lower or something.
This is why
you got to play it again though.
They should not allow in-and-outs outside of the state of California.
Yeah. What did she cram her in there or something?
Those dumb country bumpkins up in Idaho.
Dude, this is like in Boise, by the way, where this In-N-Out is. That is not Idaho anymore. That is now California.
Idaho.
No, everybody from California moved to Boise. And now Boise, homes are $1 million. It's like, might as well be San Luis Obispo, except for more people live there. It's ridiculous.
And the weather sucks. And it's boring, really. When all the parts of Idaho that you could live in, that's the place you live, the most boring part.
I don't know about that. I mean, you can drive outside of town and do stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can get to areas quick. A cop in Idaho, the cops were called to the In-N-Out because some woman thought it'd be funny to squeeze herself into the high chair and then realized it got stuck to her keister and couldn't get out. She couldn't get out of the high chair. She was being silly. Her friends filmed it, and they laughed.
Was she intoxicated? I mean, was it because
that's what this whole thing is? You know, I don't know. Is that allowed in Boise Town? I mean, do they allow people to drink in Boise Town?
Yeah, I think
Boise.
so. It's not Mormonville or anything, so I think you're good to go.
Well, it kind of is. I mean, there's a lot of Mormon concentration in Boise, Idaho. But anyways, they cheered her out, or they cheered her on when they pulled her out. That's something incredibly stupid, right?
Yeah, but in this day and age where there's just a lot of stupid people, or there's just a lot of things that could be going wrong, and a lot of when people kill people over chicken sandwiches, it's happened at Popeyes. True. So, in the grand scheme of things,
the blood's on your hand, Popeyes.
I think Idaho's pretty innocent. They're just having fun.
I got my head stuck in my grandparents, and I think this is why he put his desk there. He eventually put his desk. They had these stairs that went down to the basement, and then this railing that went along the stairs because you didn't want to take a step back and then fall down into the stairwell. So they had this railing up, and it was called the banister, and I decided one day
put your head between the banister bars,
stick my head in the bars, and then get them stuck.
A lot of people do that.
Dude,
you're not the only idiot.
You never the panic. The panic that overcomes you.
Oh my God, I can't get my head up. In the torch.
You think you're going to be stuck like that for the rest of your life. Now, common sense as an adult would tell you, oh, well, if worst case scenario, they could always cut one of the bars and then, you get out.
Or they actually have something that you can put between bars and they twist it. And it applies pressure, and it would stretch the bars out.
Kind of like the same way a shower curtain rod would work. It's like a
how it's spring.
Rod.
Yeah. They just keep twisting it, and it'll push the bars out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who has one of those, right? Hold on, I got to go to Harbor Freight. Oh, they're out. I got to go to the other one. Oh, wait. You know what? There'll be one here tomorrow, Jeff.
I guess
just
I'll
hang in there.
Chill here. I found one on Amazon. It will get here in 2 days.
93.3 KCOZ rocks.
Congratulations again going out to Natalie Rascato, who walked away with the 12 Days of Christmas yesterday. She got all 12 questions correct. If you missed it, you want to check out the podcast and find out what the answer was to question number 12. Wherever you listen to your podcast, just search Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. That's Apple, Spotify. You can also download and listen at KZOZ.com. Thanks to our friends at Team Swayze.
Have you ever been to the Denver airport?
No.
Wow. God, I go to the Denver airport. It seems like that's a stopover for us.
I'd love to go to the Denver airport.
On 50% of the flights that we take, because we go to the East Coast.
Salt Lake,
and
it's Atlanta, Miami,
stop
LA,
in Denver, stop in
Seattle,
Dallas, stop in Chicago.
Yeah.
One of those three.
Dallas, Fort Worth, those three. But never Colorado.
This happened
probably because you're always flying east, right? And I bet you that's a connection.
Yep.
For Southwest. For Southwest. That's why.
For Southwest, I
went to the Atlanta airport because that's a Delta hub. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a dude. Well, yeah, Atlanta's a hub for everything going to those places, Caribbean to the Caribbean. It's everything. That's why the Atlanta airport's huge, because
I think it's one of the biggest in the world.
The Denver airport's big because it's just in the middle of America, so it's it's nowhere near the city. It's miles and miles outside of the city, and it's just a huge airport. Anyways, this is what happened at TSA there.
Looks like a cane. It was brought by a 91-year-old woman on Saturday. And when it was placed through the x-ray, because we do x-ray every piece of personal property people are traveling with, here's what they found. This is called a cane sword.
I want one.
And so the cane is concealed in the handle of the sword itself. They're a big item at flea markets.
Okay.
So people might pick that up, think they have a handy cane to take it with them traveling, and then when it gets x-rayed, we see why, in fact, it won't be allowed into the cabin of the aircraft.
I want one of these because we hike from time to time. And we're always afraid to go on hikes that people won't, not a lot of people go on. But I want to go on those hikes because those are cool hikes.
Right.
Where you get to, cool stuff like waterfalls.
What are you afraid you're going to get hurt and lost?
No, they're just strenuous. They're more strenuous hikes. But where there's more strenuous hikes, there's also probably a lot more wildlife. And wildlife that can attack you. And if you have a walking stick, because it's cool to hike with a walking stick anyway, especially in my advanced age.
Okay.
Not that I would.
I don't have one, but I have a friend that had one. He turned a shovel handle into a walking stick. He was pretty happy.
We find them.
But he had
my
hip
son
surgery,
my son likes to find them on hikes and use them
sure.
on hikes. But the the cane sword, dude, that is incredible to have on hikes.
So I'm guessing
I want one of those.
The sword
so
just
bad.
comes like the sleeve of the sword would be the cane itself, right? Like the whatever.
Yeah, you just
that.
Fling that thing across, hit your attacker in the face with the sleeve, and then follow up with a little Zorro
with
action.
a stab, with a
boom.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if a bear was running at you with a walking stick with a sword inside of it, and you fell down, and then you could put it up and joust him right in the belly as he's coming down on you to eat your face.
Yes.
I mean, you don't really have to worry about that around here. The bears here, unless you're messing with their kids. I mean, they're going to go.
Yeah, they're not going to come up on you. It's that is something that, like, why is that not marketed more to the hiking community? How come, like, the folks at Mountain Air aren't like, hey, why is it relegated to the swap meet? How come Mountain Air doesn't say, hey, we now have cane swords?
Plus, I mean, most people don't know how to use a sword. You know what I mean? I mean, come on.
Doesn't matter. It's protection. It's a walking stick, first and foremost.
If you use it right. If you don't use it right and they get this sword from you, now it's a weapon against you. I've seen a lot of people. Mr. Miyagi would say. A lot of people.
Mr. Miyagi say, karate for defense only, Danielson.
Yes.
The same thing with cane sword, okay, for defense only. You use it as a walking aid 98% of the time. But 2% of the time, you might need to use it for defense.
I'm afraid you're already in a bad situation because you said you would hit him with the cane first, then you would take the sword out. If you go to hit him with the cane and they grab it, then, you could be in trouble.
No. You flick it off. You flick that thing off.
Oh, I see. It's like you hit the button and you just throw it at him. Like you launch it.
And so that's the first line of defense. And then the second line is the follow-up with the sword.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's kind of like when you kick your shoe off at the end of the day. And sometimes you're like, I want to see how far I could get this thing sailing. And then you kick it.
I haven't done that since I was a kid.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm just saying, my kid does it all the time, though. He's 8. He wants to see how far he can get that shoe to go. Are you going to try it now? Whoa, that was good. That wasn't so bad.
That was very good.
That wasn't so bad.
It only went like 5 feet. It probably looks further.
Yeah, but you didn't really, you were attached to a headphone. Like, if you were outside, you didn't want to knock any of those pictures off the wall.
Oh, no, I was going to kick it down the hallway down there, down the stairs, but I missed it. All right. I'm going to go get my shoe on.
You're trying to see this is a good Olympic event. How come this is not an event in the Olympics?
Shoe kicking.
A lot of things.
Hey,
yeah. How far can you kick your shoe?
Breakdancing. I would rather watch shoe kicking.
Yes, me too. Like, and it's easy to watch. You're like, it's like the shot put, but better because anybody can do it. Yeah.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
All right, Jeff and Jeremy here. The holidays are going to be wrapping up soon, and you're going to be done with people and being out and. You're going to want to, seclude yourself. And maybe it's time for a career change. Maybe you're looking for a job, but you don't like people.
I'm all ears.
Well, then you should drive a locomotive because you just sit up there and you drive. You don't have to deal with anybody.
Yeah, but you have to be trained. Don't you have to have some kind of training to drive a train? You're transporting
yes, but once you're there, you can live there.
Yeah, but what kind of training? Like, where do you go to the driving train school?
Go to Amtrak.com and click on, are you hiring? I don't know. Lighthouse keeper. This sounds even harder to do. Is there even such a thing anymore? If you're a lighthouse keeper, you can be a recluse. Power plant operator.
I don't know. I need some kind
of degree to be a power plant operator, though. Lighthouse operator. I don't know if they make you have a degree for that. Let's see. A security guard.
You're telling me
night shift security guard. Like, you're the guy that sits there all night.
Those people die. Haven't you ever seen a horror movie? To get trained to drive a train, you typically need to apply for a position with a train company, which will then provide you with comprehensive training program covering technical skills, industry regulations. So all you have to do is fill out an application and you'll be like, hey, I want to get trained to drive a train, and then they put you in a simulator and they do all this training, and then they're like, all right, there you go.
I mean, think about it. You could be a truck driver, but I think I'd rather drive a train, and I'd rather drive it through the Great North, all the way up to Alaska.
Locomotive engineers generally receive blank of on-the-job training. How long do you think the process takes?
Oh, I'm sure it takes a year.
2 to 3 months. You're telling me I can be driving a train by April?
Well, I mean, think about it. It's on rails, right? I mean, it's not you have to, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to control the throttle. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than
Training
that.
involves riding with an experienced engineer who teaches them the characteristics of that particular train route.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, okay, you see this turn up here? You're going to want to back off on the accelerator a little bit on that one. Average growth rate for all occupants is 7%. So you make 7% on what you start at. So that's kind of a bummer, unless you're actually making more money. This is according to Raise Me. I guess that's the salary.
And according to Reddit, the other job is working alone. Assassin. Yeah, assassins normally just work alone. They're usually loners.
Projected percent change in employment from 2016 to 2026. There's a 3% decline, so there's not a lot of demand for people driving trains. Like, once the AI takes over.
But driving a train, you'd do it, right? That'd be fun.
I would love to drive a train. Dude,
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Like
That would be amazing.
Get your coffee. You got to have a lid on it because it's going to be bumpy, I bet. But
Do I get to wear the hat? You know, the hat.
It's up to you. It's up to you if you wear the hat.
I would wear the hat. I would wear the hat for sure.
I mean, it's not like you're shoveling wood or coal or anything in these trains anymore.
No.
It's all diesel now.
That's other people's job. That's other people's job. I don't care about that.
You're just pushing buttons, sliding levers.
So if you don't cut it as the operator of the train, do you have to go work in the mechanical parts of it? Because that's something I don't want.
That's not. Yeah, you're not mechanically inclined like that.
I'm going to trust those people.
That takes a special person.
And that would actually. So I bet you anything, the people that maintain trains, they end up making more money than the actual conductor. Because, I mean, listen, 2 to 3 months of training, riding with a guy that has been doing it for a while, and he's like, yeah, you're going to want to take this corner slow. I mean, for 2 to 3 months?
Why? When you're on rails, you're on rails, man. They say you're on rails. It's like, this thing drives like it's on rails. You don't slow down. Speed up.
Is there ever an exciting day on the job, though, when you're a train operator?
Well, it's when you're trained derails, and that's an exciting day. The day that you'll probably lose your job, so you don't want that one.
Because it would be your fault.
Yeah.
You want the average salary is for a train operator.
Wow, this is today's?
Conductor.
Probably.
This is a railroad worker, though. This says railroad worker, so I'm not sure about the
probably 60. 60,
yeah, 57.
57?
57. Yeah. $27 an hour is what they make.
That's good.
What do pilots make? Like a lot more than that, right?
A little bit more, yeah. Just a little bit. A little bit more training, too.
Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111 911.